Russo Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK and I am here's the boss Chris. This is my co-host Andrew the Boxing Brain. Topic of the day is Daniel Dubois and his interview with Box Nation, mate, where he weren't very happy with what's being said about him pulling out the Parker fight, whatnot. Let's get into it.
Back of his motor, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shout out to your dad as well. Daniel, before we come on to yourself, I think we've got to pay some tributes, some important ones. Firstly, one of the biggest legends in this sports scene, George Foreman, sadly left us. He had an amazing life, an amazing career. Just give me some words on George Foreman.
Yeah. Very inspiring fighter, and I grew up watching a lot of the old videotapes of him and Muhammad Ali and their fights. So very, very inspiring, and condolences to him and his family and everything. But very inspiring fight for me.
And then, the same weekend, it was a sad weekend for boxing. Colin Hart, someone who was a massive admirer of yourself.
Oh, Colin Hart, yeah.
I actually want to play you a clip that I found of Colin. He was speaking about yourself 8 years ago, so when you were probably 19 or 20.
Hit by somebody like Dubois, and I'm on record.
Oh yeah.
He's the hardest single punching heavyweight I've ever seen in this country, and that includes Alex Lewis and Frank Bruno.
Yeah, he was there from the start of your career. Obviously, he's been in this game. He was in this game for donkeys. He's even covered George Foreman's career, but
he was at the presser, wasn't he?
Did leave
his presser. Well, I saw he was sat down. He did look a little bit unwell, but I thought, he's elderly, and I when you think, well, he's obviously getting on a little bit, but
he's probably nearly 90.
I didn't know that he had cancer, a form of cancer, didn't he? Terminal. Was it terminal? Did he have terminal?
Yeah. When we seen him at the presser, he looked quite unwell, didn't he? That's why we didn't interview him, because we thought it was going to be a bit hard work,
Yeah, that's right. Because I know you spotted him. He was talking with Gareth A. Davis. I sat down.
Yeah.
And just to give people an insight, we were going to go and chat to him, and we kind of felt like we didn't want to disturb him too much. I think so. But God. Frank Warren did a great tribute of him as well, Chris. Who's good friends with him, and legend in boxing journalism, and an inspiration to people like us trying to forge a career in this field. So yeah.
Well done, Colin Hart. Great career. Let's get back to it.
As well. I actually want to play you a clip that I found of Colin. He was speaking about yourself 8 years ago, so when you were probably 19 or 20.
Oh, it's rewound.
Hit by somebody like Dubois, and I'm on record.
Oh yeah.
He's the hardest single punching heavyweight I've ever seen in this country, and that includes Alex Lewis and Frank Bruno.
Yeah, he was there from the start of your career. Obviously, he's been in this game. He was in this game for donkeys. He's even covered George Foreman's career, but that is big praise to say the single most hardest hitting heavyweight we've had in this country. As he said, we've had people like Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, a few he had years ago when you were only a prospect then.
Yeah, that's right. It's good to they're noticing it and speaking about it, and it all helps. These guys and people listen to him, so and everyone listens to what they say, and I guess that's true.
Yeah, his words did come true. Daniel, how are you, firstly?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good. I'm looking forward to the next chapter now, looking to get back in there.
Right, so from your side of things...
Let's fast forward it a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Get to the meat and bones.
These guys and people listen to him, so and everyone listens to what they say, and I guess that's true.
Yeah, his words did come true. Daniel, how are you, firstly?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good. I'm looking forward to the next chapter now, looking to get ill that weekend. But
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
To be fair, a lot of people have gone to Riyadh, and because of the aircon, they have had things flare up. A lot of people have gone from the UK and had illnesses, etc., when they've come back.
Yeah.
Because I think the aircon
True.
does affect people out there.
Yeah.
True.
So that may have played a part.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen Andy Lee's comments. He said that he thought it was suspicious, talking about the Usyk
Oh,
fight, where he showed a response to
inflammatory.
Parker, Daniel.
Yeah,
we
that
go.
was none of my plans. My plan was to go out there and stop his fight at Parker, you know, go through him. So, you know, there was no plan behind this. This just happened. And, you know, if he wants proof and everything, go and ask the border control doctor that came and saw me. But, I'm pissed off as well. But, shit happens, and it's one of them things.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're annoyed at the fact that the fight didn't happen, but does the criticism, whether it's from fans or Team Parker, does that annoy you or not?
Yeah, it does a bit, but you know, that's why I want to get back out there now and prove myself. I hope they can make the Parker fight, or you know, Usyk or AJ, one of them ones.
Out of those three, what would you prefer next?
I'd love to fight Parker and get that done and dusted. That's, you know, unfinished business. But either Usyk or AJ.
Yeah, Frank has said, look, June, Wembley is what we're targeting, so that's the instruction. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I want. That's 100% what I want.
I know you're not going to reveal too much, Daniel, but that fight with Parker, how would it have gone? Why would you have stopped him? How would you have stopped him? When would you have stopped him? How would that fight gone?
I just want to pause it there.
You know.
Right.
Wait.
Pause it. How do I bloody change this back to us? Oh,
Don't worry. Don't worry too much, as we can still.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm pausing it because they're aiming for June 22nd. There's no way in hell Parker's going to be ready, unless because he's saying he wants to fight AJ. AJ's already said he's got an injury. Parker, I know he only knocked out the Coley, but that means say it's in June 22nd, April. No, he could do 8 weeks.
Yeah,
he didn't really work to. He could do it, but I can't. The way that boxing is today, I can't see Parker like jumping in the ring straight away, like quick turnaround like that. Yeah, it depends. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a real tricky one, this whole saga. I know we'll go into it after the interview with these mandatories and the WBO mandating Usyk to fight Parker, and now you got Chisora as the IBF, and Parker wants to revenge. Dubois wants to revenge on Parker. All these permutations and moving parts in boxing that always happen, never stand still. That'll always keep us in a job, I suppose. I guess what I would want to say, whether that Parker could be ready for that. Yeah, he could do it. Be tight, but he could be ready for that. Dubois isn't ducking anyone. All this he's done. He got in there against Hrgovic, got in there against who was it? Against Miller. Obviously Miller. You know, he was a dangerous fighter at the time. You know, still, you know, volume puncher. AJ, you know, one of the biggest punching heavyweights of the modern era, perhaps of all time. He wasn't ducking Parker. I think there was the illness either was genuine or they had one eye on the Usyk fight. They're my two theories. But that's all I've got.
This is the thing. This is my other point. Yeah, will Usyk be ready in that time? I know normally. For a 12-round fight, you need 3-month camp, normally, yeah? This is why, just another little side rant, this is why all this fucking taking fights on last minute isn't really ideal. So when they get beaten, they go, yeah, I took it last minute. They shouldn't really say that. Just say you lost. Because it's your choice to go in by knowing that you're ill-prepared. I hate that.
Yeah.
You know? But us as the fans and the spectators to judge you after and say, well done for taking it last minute. You did yourself proud.
Well, Andy Ruiz in 2019 took the fight last. I know he was in camp. He just beat as a kid who was coming off, but I think he finished him in a couple of rounds, didn't he? And he was ticket. But he did take it on short notice. He didn't have a great deal of time to prepare for AJ. and he did a fantastic job. So I do agree with you. Let's not get too carried away with all this. Oh, he only had this amount. There's been loads of stories where people have took on an opponent last minute and won.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, you can't use that as an excuse every time, and you shouldn't really say it if you lose. You know what I mean? But,
fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, will Usyk be ready? June, it is. So let's say they make the fight announcement very soon. That gives Usyk April, May, and at least 3 weeks of June. That's more than enough time to get ready. So I'm thinking June 22nd, announcement soon, Wembley Stadium, Dubois, Usyk. That's what I'm thinking.
The only reason I think, in reply to you, is that Usyk could be ready is that, and I don't know him personally, but the idea I have of the man is that he stays in shape. It wouldn't surprise me if he's kind of been ticking over and preparing for Dubois anyway, because he's that sort of fighter. So my answer would be, I think he probably would be ready, because of who he is.
You know what? I've got to totally agree with you there, and I reckon for sure he's been ready. Dubois, I think they've secretly been making this fight as soon as Dubois was ill and pulled out the park.
You could be right.
And I think everyone's ready. All systems go. Right, let's see if he's got anything else interesting to say. Or did you want to answer it?
No, that's fine.
I was just, I was ready for him. I was ready for, he's and everything. He's tough and everything, but I was ready for him. In the training camp and everything, I was ready for him. So, pissed off that it didn't happen.
Do you think that follow up with that right hand would have been too much for Joseph Parker?
Yeah, everything. I would have, unloaded everything. What I practiced, and just it would have been a great fight. So that's why hopefully they can make it happen and run it back and get it on for real. Now.
I think he would have needed a bit more than a jab and a right hand to beat Parker. So I think that's a little bit reductive, that question. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. He was the guy that he filled the spot.
A little bit more.
Got knocked out, and I didn't think too much about it.
Do you not think it was odd that he's wearing your gloves though?
Yeah, it's just last minute, wasn't it? It's,
True.
It's crazy, really. He just jumped on the train, jumped on the plane.
You have to wear an approved set of gloves.
The
bars already been approved.
Yeah. Bizarre.
What did you make of it? The fight itself, or not much of it?
Not much. I wouldn't study it too much, but he's like a lamb to the slaughter, really, and
that's true.
Got in there, and I guess
it's true.
Chasing the money or whatever.
Never take a fight on 24 hours notice when you've been on session, eating and drinking.
Messes up.
I hear that.
People need to be told that. Didn't know that yourself, but
for your name that week in Riyadh, he was calling you out. But you've said to me you want to fight Parker. You'll take any three of them, Parker, Joshua, Usyk, but Parker's actually top priority because I guess you want to wipe doubts from people's minds.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the main thing, and people talking and everything. But either him or Usyk, that's what I called for before the fight, and I wanted to go through Parker to get through him, and that's how I'd like to do it again. And if they make that Parker fight again, I'd love to do that.
Daniel, if it is Usyk, which I know Frank has made a priority, how does that rematch go? Is it going to be a different fight from the first one? If it is, how would it differ?
Yeah, I'm different now.
Of course, he's going to say it's going to be different.
Different. Been in wars. I'm more battle-hardened than I was then, and learned from my mistakes.
Yeah, that's true.
In and out of the ring, what's happened. So I feel like I'm improved, and I'm ready for him. I'm not going to be denied. Refuse to lose.
How many times do you want to box this year, ideally, Daniel?
7
times.
He looks pissed off.
3 or
7
4 times. I want to, because I got that last camp that I've done and didn't get to release that energy what was built up in me. So I need to get out there again, and once I get a date and everything, and then I'll be flying.
Do you know,
in 20 seconds, buddy.
It feels like I'm talking to you on a fight week here. It feels like you're ready to literally swing.
Yeah, no, I still got that energy built up in me. Still haven't had that release from the fight and all of that. So, as soon as that gets sorted out and that's out the way, then I can move on. But right now I'm still a little.
Let's fast forward a bit.
He's got the weight done, and now he's just got to get ready for it. Get ready for it when his names get called for a fight. And yeah, I did the schools as well. We all done the school, so yeah, school so good. It's like following tradition.
I've heard he's a real talent.
Yeah, 100%. He's really good.
Let's talk about the fight. Well, I think that's enough about that.
Yeah,
He's probably smart.
yeah, we can
He's good.
discuss.
So, what do you think? It seems to me that he seems very angry and agitated.
He does.
It was like pulling tooth out of a dead horse, interviewing him there. But
I think
it seems to me that he wants a Parker fight before the Usyk fight. That's what I was getting the vibe.
Yeah, I tend to agree with it. I think, look, Daniel's a little bit neuro. I know we chuck that term around now, don't we? Like neurodivergent, and I think he probably is a bit neurodivergent. He's a bit I don't know. I don't know. There is a little bit of something there, and I think he sort of has a pent up energy about him. I think he processes things maybe different to other people, and I think he looks to me in that interview like he resents a little bit of this backlash of people questioning, because he's got in there, like we said, against Miller, against Hrgovic, you know, who's a quality fighter, touted as the next heavyweight champion not too long ago, you know, by David Hay and all the rest of it. Then got in against AJ 2.0, was meant to be the second coming of AJ, and dismantled him. So I think he feels a bit disrespected by the media, sort of, which is what we tend to do in this country more than ever. We tend to kind of build people up and like to slag them off as soon as we get a chance.
When you're down, they kick you when you're down, don't they?
Yeah, and I think he probably, as much as obviously he wants the Usyk fight, he wants to, you know, become undisputed and get all those belts. He probably just wants to. He probably feels like he's got unfinished business. That's what's going on. A score to settle.
That's what he said, anyway.
Yeah, but what do you think? Do you think the same?
I think he feels that way, but I just have a feeling that Usyk's going to want to get Dubois out of the way now. He's not going to want to wait longer. And I like you said, he's a man who stays ready. And I think you're probably right. He's probably been preparing for Dubois since the Parker pullout. So I can see Usyk Dubois June time. For me, that's what I think is going to happen. But I think Dubois actually wants, like, if he fought Parker, he'd kind of be happy, and he probably wants that. Like, he wants another fight before he goes back in with Usyk, probably realising how good he is.
I think the other factor as well is that Usyk, I mean, Dubois got time on his hand. People forget how young he still is, 26, 27, and he's still learning his craft. It's scary to think, really, that we probably haven't seen the best of Dubois yet. You know, we know heavyweights mature later. You know, he might learn a little bit more. I'm sure he's got a more of the ceiling. He's got a high ceiling. You know, and he's kind of early 30s. He's probably going to be even better. Usyk, on the other hand, doesn't have time on his hands. You know, he's no spring chicken. He's in his late 38 now. He hasn't really got time. He's going to want to get those two fights done and cement his legacy, I would imagine. You don't want to hang about. Whereas Dubois can hang about a little bit in that respect.
Yeah, for sure. Right, yeah, totally agree. Let's end it there.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, guys. Like and sub.